Hi, this is 365-821 and this is day 5 of the 25 Days of Manga. Now, when I was looking at digital only manga, I was reminded that I had purchased a few titles on sale back in April, and one of those I'm going to be reading today, and that is a Seinen title, although it's also a BL title, which is incredibly rare. It's like the holy grail of what? To be actually classified as that. And that is Ten Dance. I have a volume 1 digitally. I also have a volume 5 in print. So that is the title that I'm going to be reading today. Now, Ten Dance is about two young men. One is Shinya Suzuki, who is a Latin dancer, so he dances the 5 main Latin dances, and he's a national champion in Japan. So he's a big fish in a small pond, as it were. And then we have Shinya Sugiki, who is a international champion who wins many of the major titles, especially the big 3 hosted in the UK, and he very often comes second in the international competition. He is aiming for first place in that one so that he can say he's had everything, but he always falls short. Many people say that the competition is rigged. It's an interesting story about these two men who are Japanese. They have their different strengths, and they certainly have their different weaknesses. And there is one competition in which you can be competing in both Latin and the traditional standard ballroom dances, and that is the 10 dance competition. All 10 of the ballroom dances, both standard and Latin, must be danced over the course of a day or two, and it is the 10 dance. It's very difficult to be good at both Latin and the standard ballroom dances. The personality, the character, the movement, everything is very different. So Sugiki approaches Suzuki and they try to train each other to be able to compete in the 10 dance competition. It's very interesting. It's really good. That's the basic premise. Now, this title is by Inoue Sato, who has previously written mainly pure BL stories that were involving adult men, and I think that's why it was moved over to a seinen manga magazine, because it actually involves adult men in the story. She does amazing artwork. It's really, really stunningly beautiful. It's very expressive. She's got really great comedic expressions as well as very dynamic expressions, and she's able to present the action of dance in a very interesting way, as well as presenting two men who are quite attractive and in different ways. So I really like her artwork. It's one of the strengths of this manga for sure. Now, when reading this, I did come across a slight issue with actually being able to understand and follow the story, and I'm not sure if that's from a Japanese original or if it's the translation, but at times I did feel as though the story didn't flow in an English sense. Like, I personally had a little bit of trouble feeling as though the conversation flowed and that I was understanding what was going on and what was being said. Now, I actually know quite a bit about ballroom dancing. I'm British, we watch Strictly every year. It's like, you just know. It just permeates into the British psyche that you know a bit about contra checks and things like that. So yeah, I could understand what they were talking about in terms of the dancing, but in terms of actually the storytelling and the language, the English language usage, it didn't always feel like it flowed 100%, and I felt like I needed to go back and reread things, and even after rereading them, it was like, did I get that? Am I following this in the way that it should be? It didn't feel effortless it felt as though I had to make a bit of an effort to read. And I'm not too sure if that's the translation or if that's from the original Japanese. Even in saying that, though, I absolutely love this story. I know it's going to be a slow burn, and because it's in Seinen, I'm not sure if it's going to, actually come to any kind of fruition as a love story that it was originally BL. That might be discarded. It might not. I don't know. If they're still promoting it as BL, then I would expect something to happen in a slow burn sense. But if they are now saying this is just seinen, then I wouldn't necessarily expect something to happen. I hope that they, obviously, as a BL fan, I hope that they still allow the relationship to develop in a much more interesting way. Because you can see that. You can see it starting. You can see it in terms of, I want to see you, or come back now. The kind of language that they use when it's really explicit. But when it's more subtle, it can be construed in, oh, well, that's just the relationship that they have at the moment. There's tension. It's fun. There's slow burn. I know it's going to be an interesting one to pick up, and I enjoyed this volume enough to go straight onto the internet and go, okay, where can I buy these now? And I did find a couple of copies that I might pick up, but they're not volume 2. And so I'm gonna have to try and see if I can get hold of some of the other volumes. As I mentioned, I am just focusing on some of the out of print titles for 2020. For 2021, I may try and pick up some of the titles that I've enjoyed that I'd like to complete. So 10 Dance would probably be one of them that I might focus more on trying to get for 2021 rather than in 2020. So for day 5, I read 10 Dance Volume 1 by Inoue Sato. I enjoyed it a lot. I will pick it up as and when I can. But it did make me think, oh, I want more ballroom dancing, and it reminded me that I really love Welcome to the Ballroom. It's I think it's still available on Amazon Prime. That's where I watched it, and I've probably watched it over and over and over again. I really enjoy Welcome to the Ballroom as an anime, but it does also make me want to pick up the volumes in manga form too, which I think is also published by Kodansha. I think they just did a whole ballroom thing. Decided to print the ballroom stories. So yeah, if you like ballroom and if you enjoyed that, then maybe check out Welcome to the Ballroom. Also, if you like men dancing, Man of Tango, is it Man of Tango or Men of Tango? That's a really good single volume BL, and very, very sexy. You don't need to worry, there's no slow burn there. Just get straight to it. They just get straight to it. So if you like your BL with dancing, that's a title to pick out as well if you're interested. So yeah, that is my pick for a seinen. I'm kind of glad that I actually had one in the collection that I could read. So yeah, it turns out even if you're reading seinen, every day is a BL day. See you in the next one. Bye.